Hey, what's up guys? It's your boy Speed here, and today I really want to show you this Riki build. Riki's a hero that has been popping up on my radar as of late. Reason being is his shard and Meteor Hammer. Yes, Meteor Hammer. And you might be thinking, this is a meme, I can't play this core, is this some support nonsense? No. In fact, in today's video, we're going to be looking at mid Riki. However, you can apply the current build you're about to see to offlane and safe lane, and it's just as viable. Now, the main thing I want to talk about before we get into this is why you should smash the like button and subscribe to the channel as well as the gameleap website. And by the way, guys, if you want to become absolutely broken, well, what you need to do is sign up to the gameleap website down below right now. The reason why you should do that is because every single day we post a new video there. Content that you simply just will never get on YouTube, we post every single day to the website. It's really top tier stuff. I'm very proud of what I make over there. We also have other creators, many of my great friends who are top tier Dota players, creating guides about different heroes, different roles, different items, skill builds, talent builds, everything you need to know to get to the next rank. So if you feel a little bit lost, you're a little bit stuck, click the link down below. I'll see you guys there. And now let's get into the video. The main thing I want to talk about is the shard. So Sleeping Dart is actually one of the best abilities in the game. It just is. It's a 12-second cooldown. Yes, 12. And it puts people to sleep for 4 seconds, which means when they wake up, it's up again in 8 seconds, right? So it's 33% uptime. And at the end of the duration, right? So after the end of 4 seconds, they wake up, they take 150 damage, which is a lot, and are slowed by 30% for 4 seconds, and it cancels blink daggers. So basically, you put someone to sleep, and then they wake up, and they can't move every 12 seconds. It's broken. It really is one of the best shards in the game. The only problem with Riki is typically his inability to farm, and that's about it. His laning stage isn't that great. However, this item build kind of solves that, and let's get into it. So, in the laning stage, he does have kind of a nice matchup. Honestly, this hero can struggle a little bit mid against certain ranged heroes, the Linas, the Vipers, so be very careful, about picking this hero in the second phase. Do I think it's totally fine in your average pub? Yeah. Honestly, even against a hero like Viper, you have Blink Strike to get away, you have your E to get away, you even have Smokescreen if you actually think you need it. Riki is a sustainable hero, like he is. Look, he has, 4.7 regen when he's not under tower? It's one of the highest in Dota, right? If we click on the other heroes, Earth Spirit is 2.2, Wyvern 2.6, Warlock 3.6, I think he's under tower though, right? So he has 3.6 under tower. Terrorblade has 2.9, 2.2, right? Riki has some of the highest regen in the game, and so this hero just sustains. And then, because you're buying a Meteor Hammer, you get to rush Ring of Health. It's the same concept as OD mid, except your hero is actually just as tanky. You're not a ranged hero, to be fair, but you're just as tanky, and you have a fine way to secure range creeps, which is your W. Because worst case scenario, you blink to here, and then you blink back. It's not that bad. And by the way, I forgot to mention that Riki is a 320 movement speed hero with 6 armor and really high base damage, so last hitting and kiting out with this hero is very easy in the laning stage. And by the way, did I also mention that you have 11.7 regen with this Ring of Health you should typically get around the 2-minute mark. And this is the concept behind Riki. It's really simple. As you can clearly see, you do take a bit of damage, so in the harder matchups, you're going to have to play more passive, you're going to have to pull more creep aggro, you're going to have to buy the occasional salve, but for the most part, it's not that bad. You can see he's even hitting Wyvern from time to time. Let's say you're against a Lina or Viper, creep aggro, creep aggro, creep aggro. You're not looking to put aggression, you're not looking to do damage, you're looking to get levels, get your farm, and avoid damage. Now here is why Meteor Hammer is so good. Number 1, we talked about the laning stage, right? It's just good to have the Ring of Health. Number 2, Riki has crippling mana problems. This is one of those heroes where if you don't go Raindrop, Wand, and Clarities, you're going to be running out of mana because of how low of a cooldown and spammable your W is, even your E, especially when you have Smokescreen, you're going to run out of mana. Your mana pool is horrible. Obviously, Meteor Hammer builds Perseverance, so it largely helps it. Yes, casting Meteor Hammer does cost quite a bit of mana, and you will still need the occasional Clarity, but it's not that bad. On top of that, you can cast Meteor Hammer from Invis. So basically, it's really easy to split push. You can always find farm on this hero, and of course, you could actually set up pretty funny Meteor Hammers onto safe laners, or you can just wait for a stun. But you can Meteor Hammer people from Invis as well if you need to. And by the way, you might be thinking like, Speed, okay, I mean, I have a Meteor Hammer, but that means I can't really kill anyone, right? Well, I mean, kind of, if you can't hit them with Meteor Hammer, but as you see in this clip here, when he connects with this Meteor Hammer, this item does a lot, and I mean a lot of damage in the early game, right? It's 150 damage on impact, and then 90 damage per second for 6 seconds. That's a lot. Like, right? That's a lot. It's just a lot of damage. And your hero still right-clicks very hard simply because of your ultimate, and that leads to a solo kill. A solo kill with no boots and a Meteor Hammer. And you can imagine he could do that to many int heroes. Quick little side tip as well, I love this play from Chuan here. if you get really good at doing this whole, Meteor Hammer timing thing, basically you can walk mid, and at 742 approximately, more so 741, if you channel it at 741, you will be able to hit the wave and the tower at the same time, which is insanely valuable. That's obviously just a great play, because you do that, it's going to pressure the tower, and then you can spend the next whatever amount of time looking for a kill in a side lane. Like, everything here, it's funny, you probably click on this video, you're expecting, like, and you hear the Meteor Hammer, you're like, this is a meme. It's just not a meme. Like, I really don't believe this is a meme. Like, I think this is something pros can do, and it would be fine, or just good. Now, in terms of items, you could still see that he does buy all the mana items. He even has a mana neutral item, so yes, you're gonna need mana items. Just once again, keep that in mind. Buy these items. Treads, Wand, Raindrops, Clarities, get a mana neutral item if you can. Ocean Heart, in my opinion, is probably the best one, considering when you're mid, if you're mid, you can just sit in the river, channel your Meteor Hammer, get your mana back. Super nice. Good winter roaming too. Now, moving on towards the mid game here, there's two things you can do. You can farm stacks because of your Meteor Hammer, or you can just run down lanes. He also recently went on a smoke gank with his team. They picked up the Terrorblade, very nice. But in general, yeah, you're just gonna kind of run down side lanes. That's what you do. If someone goes to a side lane and they don't see you coming, and you hit them with a Meteor Hammer in the wave, you probably killed them. Like, most cores, especially split pushing agi cores, will die to you. And yeah, it's very hard for you. You can imagine that, like, in your average pub, you're never gonna die. Like, I'm just keeping it. I mean, literally, I had to play against this in the solo queue game. It wasn't a mid, it was off lane, but he rushed Meteor Hammer. We couldn't kill him. It's like super hard to kill him, because even if you do catch Riki with Dust, he has 2 Blink Strikes, an E, Tricks of the Trade, and a Smoke. It's like, this hero's not easy to gank, even if you do end up catching him. But when your average players don't have any coordination, you're just not going to die. Like, you can basically always stall out the game. In this next upcoming fight here, let's see the prowess of Riki in later fights. It's 15 minutes into the game, and yes, he's having an absolute godly game. You shouldn't expect to have Meteor Hammer, Treads, Diffusal, Wand at 16 minutes or 15 minutes every game. I generally would aim for 17 to 18 minute mark. You definitely do not want to get too late of a Diffusal, as it will prevent you from buying your shard earlier on, especially if you decide that you need a different item. But yeah, let's look at this fight. So, even without the immediate Diffusal here, it's on the Courier, it's still very easy for you to execute fights. You generally just are going to look to go on anyone you can burst. Like, that's the first thing to note. Don't go for, like, the heroes you can't kill. Always go for the supports. Always go for the backline. Typical Riki stuff. Stays the same with this build. Doesn't change. And after that, you can see he does have to end up disengaging from this Terrorblade. For the most part, you can't really man up to heroes. You shouldn't be trying to man up to anyone. You should always be kiting around the fight. And because he kites out this fight really well, they hit a nice stomp onto the Warlock, preventing him from doing anything. They go onto the Terrorblade, and Smokescreen is just such a hard counter to these heroes that rely on ultimate abilities to turn fights, and that's exactly what happens here. Heroes like Jug, heroes like Terrorblade, Slark, they just die. Now, for his next items, he's obviously going to go for the Shard. He did buy the Manta recipe, which was 100% a mistake. It did delay his Shard a little bit. But yeah, after your Diffusal and your Meteor Hammer, you kind of have 2 options in my opinion. I think the main 2 options are Blink Dagger. Yes, Blink Dagger, you can use it to kind of disengage with Tricks of the Trade. Not great for DPS if you're ahead though. The more common build is just Manta. The other build you can go is Sanchen Yasha, and the difference between the two is if the enemy team has a ton of stuns, then generally you're going to want to go Sanchen Yasha. If they have just like, all right, this game, Earth Spirit, Wyvern, Warlock, Terrorblade, Necro, who's really locking them down, right? There's not a bunch of great stuns, and so it's a much better game to go Manta, purge, Wyvern Q, purge Silence from Earth Spirit, purge Fatal Bonds. It's a much better. Even purge Terrorblade, right? Purge Terrorblade's Q, and even, disjoint Sunder when he's going for it. One more thing that I'd really like to note, because this game ends up only going 30 minutes, but this is honestly one of the most important things of the build, is your level 15 talent. Your level 15 talent 4 seconds off on Smokescreen is really good. It makes Smokescreen a 6-second duration, 7-second cooldown. You have a ton of Smokescreens. People are almost perma-silenced. It's really hard to fight into it. And if the game goes late enough, you take Smokescreen AoE. Please take Smokescreen AoE. Do not take Tricks of the Trade cooldown. When you have Smokescreen cooldown and you have Smokescreen AoE, it is insane. It is insane. They cannot fight. Smokescreen's a nutty spell. It's 65% mischance in a massive AoE on a 7-second cooldown. It is nuts. It is nuts. The Smokescreen talents and your ability to kite is really the main value of this hero in the late game. While your DPS does scale, and it's very good, a lot of the time you can get bursted depending on your items, and therefore your kites, your Smokescreens, even as you see on the high ground siege here, is a lot of your value. And the most goofy part of this whole build is the fact that somehow it synergizes later on into the game. While Meteor Hammer would still be fine without Sleeping Dart, the fact that it works with Sleeping Dart so perfectly, as it's a 4-second sleep timer, and Meteor Hammer is, slightly less than a 3-second channel, it works. You stun, then you smoke screen, you go for the kill. Unfortunately, Necro has a Force Staff, you know, the typical counter to Riki. But yeah, the stun's not bad. It even bought time, right? It's even a counter to Force Staff, right? This whole Sleeping Dart Meteor Hammer, it actually is good against Force Staff. And yeah, that's gonna be about the end of the video. One more thing I do want to mention is you can use Smokescreen and Tricks of the Trade. Just don't forget that, right? Mid Tricks of the Trade, you can still use it, so just keep that in mind. And that's kind of the whole gist of this Riki build. Spam your Smoke Cloud, spam your Tricks of the Trade, spam your Blink Strikes, don't overcommit too early, and you just have a ton of impact. The hero's a solid laner, right? It's definitely easy to lane, especially if you're looking for a new mid hero to play, even an off-lane hero to play. It's a very easy hero to play, at least in the laning stage. The mid game's a bit more complicated. There's a lot of buttons to press. But yeah, I'm super confident that this build is not a meme. It's super legit. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see ya in the next one. By the way, I'm going to be streaming almost every single day, hopefully every other day for the next while. I'm giving it a shot. It's been a lot of fun. We've been doing solo queue, free coaching sessions. We're going to be doing 1v1s, random mini games. We're going to do some tournaments, stuff like that. A lot of stuff planned. It's super, super fun. So click the link down below, which has my Twitch link. It's Speed Dota if it's not there. And yeah, I'll see you guys there. Thanks for watching, and peace. And that's all, but remember, before you leave, come on, before you tune out, subscribe to the gameleap website where we are going to help you get to the next rank. If you're stuck, click the link down below, and I'm out. Peace.